On my first day of live streaming, I handcrafted a Gatling gun. It could load ammo and shoot birds. As a result, I was taken into the police station for questioning that very day. The next day, I handcrafted the torrential pure blossom needle. Once again, I was invited by the hat uncles to drink tea at the station. On the third day, I learned from my painful experiences and decided to live stream drawing. Who would have thought that the USD I drew could actually pass through a super counterfeit money detector? I was locked in a dark room on the spot, going in and out of the station 3 times. My reputation instantly soared. Not only did the netizens remember me, but even the official authorities of Longo have had their eyes on me ever since. The durable rope I crafted by hand. The military industry department called it an aircraft carrier arresting gear. The dried fish I made for fishing. The Academy of Agricultural Sciences called it carbon fiber. I finally managed to handcraft a 2D mecha headgear. And the military claimed it was field combat equipment. Everything had to be handed over to the state. In a fit of anger, I completely let myself go. Space yachts, quantum starships, whatever they wanted, I'd make it right now in the interrogation room. I looked at the gloomy-faced Captain Lee Janbin and honestly bowed my head to admit my mistake. Captain Lee, I really didn't do it on purpose. I'm just a handicraft blogger. The netizens said they wanted to see a handcrafted Gatling gun, so I tried making one. I never expected to actually pull it off. This was a complete accident. Lee Janbin snorted coldly. You just tried and made it look exactly like a real gun. Do you think I'm an idiot? Confess honestly. Where did you learn this gun-making technology? Hearing this, I felt anxious and wronged. Captain Lee, I just have a flexible mind. When it comes to mechanical stuff, I basically understand everything once I grasp the basics. I really wouldn't dare lie to you. Lee Janbin fell silent for a moment, flipping through the social relations report in his hand, then raised his wrist to check his watch. From the start of the interrogation until now, 4 hours had passed, and he simply hadn't found any flaws. Could this kid really be an idiot genius? Thinking this, Lee Janbin let out a soft breath. All right, the investigation checks out. You can go back. But from now on, stop building thermal weapons in your livery. Next time, it won't be this simple. I nodded repeatedly, patting my chest in guarantee. Rest assured, my mom taught me from a young age to be a useful person to society. I will absolutely never do anything illegal. Lee Janbin waved his hand impatiently. All right. All right. You better actually think that way. As for that Gatling gun of yours, it stays here at the station. Hurry up and leave. Hearing this, my face instantly fell into a bitter grimace. I had collected 8,000 yuan from my top donator for that thing. Now that the item was gone, how was I supposed to explain this? But even if you lent me a few more guts, I wouldn't dare ask the hat uncles to give it back. After all this tossing and turning, it was already dark by the time I got back. I saw the video clip of me being taken away. It even had the caption, shocking. Handicraft blogger is actually a criminal. The likes had unexpectedly surpassed 50,000, more than my actual follower count. There truly aren't many good people left. They're all dogs. Putting down my phone, I sighed deeply. Top donator bro, I already collected the 8,000 yuan payment. Once money enters the pocket, there's no reason to return it. I pondered for a while and suddenly had an idea. If worst comes to worst, I'll just make the bro a cardboard version. As long as the quality is good enough, I guarantee he won't have any complaints. Early the next morning, I went to the supermarket at the village entrance. Auntie Lou, do you have any craft paper? Give me a box. Auntie Lou, who was scrolling on her phone behind the counter, looked up. Oh, you're all right, kid. I was just thinking about going to your house to see if you had come back. Hearing this, the corner of my mouth twitched. I touched my nose in embarrassment. Hey, it was all a misunderstanding. Everything is fine now. When is Guai coming back? While carrying the craft paper out from the storage room, Auntie Lou muttered, who knows what that brat is busy with? He doesn't even make a phone call. I nodded, successfully changing the subject. Auntie Lou's house is right across from mine. Her son, Guai, is 3 years older than me. He has excellent grades and is obedient. In my mom's words, he and I are completely different species. I heard he's working in Jingdu now and doing quite well. After returning home, I set up my phone, started recording a video, and officially began handcrafting the cardboard Gatling gun. Because of yesterday's experience, things went much smoother today. First, I dismantled 6 bearings from some fingertip spinners. Then, I made the heat sinks and sealed them with glue, replacing steel with paper and welding with glue. Before long, the hardest part was finished. Next, I dismantled a drill, removed the bit, and installed a trigger inside the grip. I glued the wires, installed the handle, the barrel, and the magazine. Finally, I brushed the whole thing with black paint. A cardboard Gatling gun was complete. I loaded a few bullets inside and pulled the trigger. Immediately, it fired out with a D-dis sound. I took a few photos and sent them to my top donator. The bro quickly replied, "Streamer, you're awesome. This thing is too cool. The appearance doesn't lose to yesterday's at all. Hurry up and ship it. Otherwise, I'm afraid it'll get confiscated again if you're late." Seeing the message, I didn't dare delay. I immediately contacted a courier and shipped it out. Subsequently, I simply edited the crafting video and uploaded it. At the same time, in the Northern Province Police Station, Rookie Officer Xiao Xiaoan was staring wide-eyed at the video I had just posted. He was the one who discovered me handcrafting the Gatling gun on stream yesterday. He thought it would be a third-class merit, but who knew absolutely nothing would come of it. He felt incredibly aggrieved in his heart. As long as he had free time, he kept an eye on my account. When he saw me handcrafting a Gatling gun out of paper, he immediately grabbed his phone and ran to find Li Jianbin. "Captain Li, this kid used paper to craft another Gatling gun. Should we call him in?" Li Jianbin glanced at the video, frowned slightly, and waved his hand. "Forget it. As long as he isn't making real ones, just let him be." Li Jianbin was currently nursing a headache. Last night, a robbery occurred in their jurisdiction. The victim was actually a scientific researcher from the Aviation Institute responsible for the research and development of the aircraft carrier arresting gear. The higher-ups were furious and dispatched a special task force to help crack the case. If they couldn't catch the culprit within a week, his political career would probably be over. How could he have the mind to care about these trivial matters? In the blink of an eye, it was evening. Because today's video traffic was quite good, I started a live stream again. Thinking of Captain Li's words from yesterday, I spoke up. "Babes, regarding yesterday's handcrafted Gatling gun, the relevant departments won't let me make that kind of item anymore. So, today I'll handcraft a torrential pure blossom needle for everyone." That single sentence was like water dropping into boiling oil. The live stream chat instantly exploded. "Streamer? Are you serious? Isn't that something out of a novel?" "Exactly. Bro just got some traffic and is already messing around upstairs. Have a little faith in our brother. Ye bro has already been to the station, which proves his craftsmanship is absolutely solid. Yeah, streamer. Hurry up and show us one." Unhurried, I placed the prepared iron sheets, copper plates, and tubing on the table. For this torrential pure blossom needle, we are referencing a design from a certain Luo game. Saying that, I began production. The fan blades, lotus petals, and main shaft handle were pieced together. I installed 24 firing holes on the top. The needle magazine was placed inside the handle. I even designed an automatic reloading mechanism. As long as the first batch of silver needles was fired, the ones behind would automatically reload to achieve rapid fire. Very quickly, an exquisite torrential pure blossom needle was completed. I waved the finished product in my hand and laughed. "Babes, from now on, please call me the Tang Sackmaster." In the live stream, the audience was completely dumbfounded. Holy crap! The streamer really has some skills. This is way too absurd. Honestly, are you a time traveler? Fire one for us to see. Yeah. Let it rip. I struck a handsome pose. No problem. That was exactly my intention. With that, I took the pure blossom needle to the courtyard. I placed a wooden board 10 m away. With an extremely dashing posture, I pressed the mechanism. In an instant, 24 silver needles fired simultaneously, firmly pinning themselves into the wooden board. A chorus of gasps filled the live stream. "Oh my god, amazing." GIF special effects instantly flooded the screen. I was grinning from ear to ear. "Bosses, just a token of your appreciation is fine." Just when I was feeling elated, a sudden urgent knocking on the door interrupted everything. I walked towards the gate looking annoyed. Coming. Stop knocking. The door is going to break." But the moment I opened the door, 2 hat uncles rushed in. Without a word, they pinned me against the wall. "Wait, what's going on?" I turned my head and saw it was exactly Zia Xiao. You brat. You were just warned yesterday, and today you're making a torrential pear blossom needle, refusing to repent despite repeated warnings. Ha! I looked aggrieved and only cried foul. Captain Lee said I couldn't make thermal weapons. I didn't make one. No weapons of any kind are allowed. Hurry up. Grab the evidence and come with us. This sudden scene caused the live stream's popularity to surge once again. Streamer is awesome. Second trip so fast. This streamer must be targeted, right? Otherwise, how could they arrive so quickly? I didn't expect our sect master to bid us farewell like this. Congratulations, streamer. 3 prison meals a day. At this moment, Jo Shaoan loosened his grip. I quickly ran to my phone. Babes, wait for my return. I nervously shrank my shoulders and explained to young Chun, Uncle Cop, I just wanted to make something interesting to attract fans. I didn't know I couldn't make this fictional weapon. Yesterday, Captain Lee only said I couldn't build guns. He didn't say this wasn't allowed. According to what you're saying, it's our fault, then. No, absolutely not. Xiao Xiao snorted coldly. At this time, a staff member brought over the testing report. He took one look at it, and his face instantly darkened. This thing is a massive, lethal weapon. It's almost on par with an old-fashioned pistol. What kind of handicraft blogger can make this? Xiao Xiaoan began to doubt the previous investigation. Confess honestly. What did you do before becoming a blogger? Nothing. I just graduated this year. I was a student before this. That's not right. You studied mechanical engineering. Logically, you shouldn't be lacking job opportunities. Why would you do this? Hearing this, I immediately became agitated. Bro, you must have entered the government system right after graduation and never looked for a job, right? Are there any normal companies out there nowadays? The job postings say 600 plus salary, but at the interview it drops to 3,000 and that includes KPIs. The most outrageous part is I traveled 2 hours for an interview and the HR actually asked me if I was working just for the money. Having finally found a chance to vent, I grew more and more energetic as I spoke until I was interrupted. Stop. I understand. Just don't touch these things anymore. This is your final warning. Sign here and you can leave. I was forced to sign, hesitating to speak, wanting to ask for my pear blossom needle back. After all, I hadn't played with it enough yet. Xiao Xiaoang saw through my thoughts and waved his hand. Don't even think about the item. It's too dangerous. It cannot stay in your hands. Just like that, my second piece of work was confiscated again. At this moment, Lion Bin hurried back. Seeing me, he was stunned for a moment. You kid? You just came yesterday and you're here again today? Before I could speak, Jo Shaoang gave a brief report of the situation. After hearing it, Li Jianbin said sternly, You kid, pay more attention from now on. Hurry up and go back. After saying that, he hurried away again, looking very busy. I didn't think much of it. Danger was quietly approaching. On a national highway in the suburbs of the northern province, a fast and furious scene was playing out. Several police cars were chasing a beat-up van. However, even though the bandit inside stepped on the gas pedal to the floor, the police cars behind were getting closer and closer. Seeing this, the bandit made a ruthless decision and drove the car directly into a nearby residential area. Subsequently, he abandoned the van and ran for a long time before vaulting directly over a wall into a resident's courtyard. Now, there was nowhere left to run. He had to see if he could hide for a while. At the same time, I also heard the wailing sirens of the police cars. Judging by the sound, there were at least 3 cars. I wondered what kind of thief had caused the Hat Uncles to mobilize with such a massive presence. I absent-mindedly continued playing on my phone, but I felt more and more that something was wrong. Why did these sirens sound like they were getting closer and closer to me? I instantly shuddered. Could it be that they regretted letting me go and came back to arrest me again? I hurriedly got up, planning to go outside and take a look. As soon as I opened the door, a dagger was pressed against my neck. Don't make a sound or I'll slaughter you. I obediently raised my hands and told the people outside not to come in, following the bandits' orders. The cops outside, who were just about to rush in, instantly halted their movements and gritted their teeth. The person inside, listen up. You are completely surrounded. Surrender immediately and strive for leniency. A dark look flashed across the bandit's face. Do you take me for an idiot? Surrendering is a dead end. Listen to me. I have a hostage in my hands. Arrange a car for me immediately and let me leave here safely. Otherwise, I will slaughter him right now. Outside, Lee Jinbin's expression was sharp. With a deep voice, he instructed the team members beside him, do as he says for now. Go prepare a car. Have the snipers get into position. I wasn't idle either. Constantly thinking of ways to save myself. Right now, I still had some use to him. But if I got in that car, I could only rely on the bandit's conscience. But he's a bandit. Conscience is something they don't have much of. Before long, a shout came from outside again. The police have prepared the car. I looked at the bandit's arm, gripping my neck. Now is the time. Just as the bandit was pushing me toward the door, my eyes darkened. My right hand, which was gripping the bandit's arm, accurately locked onto his funny bone and squeezed hard. The bandit let out a howl and loosened his grip. Before the hijacker could make his next move, I grabbed him, forcefully twisted his other wrist, and directly dislocated his arm. Outside, Lee Jinbin and the others heard the scream and panicked, immediately arranging for people to scale the wall and prepare for action. Unhurried, I twisted the bandit's arm, casually picked up the steel wire rope I had bought from the system earlier to tie down cargo, which was lying by the door, and directly tied the hijacker up like a caterpillar. The veins on the bandit's forehead popped out slightly. You have no martial ethics. You actually pinched my funny bone. You're shameless. Do you dare to have a formal match with me? Are you telling me a joke? Shameless? You secretly taking me hostage isn't shameless. As my voice fell, 7 or 8 hat uncles vaulted over the wall simultaneously, instantly taking control of the scene with their guns drawn. Just as they were preparing to confront the bandit, they saw him tied up like a bug, wriggling on the ground. Everyone looked at each other in dismay, their faces full of shock. At this moment, Lee Jan also kicked the door open and walked in. I smiled and greeted him. What a coincidence, Captain Lee. We meet again. Lee Jinbin first breathed a sigh of relief, then looked at the bandit and then at me, asking in shock, what's going on here? I've already tied the guy up for you. I didn't expect you to have this kind of skill, he said, waving to the team members beside him to take the bandit to the car. The bandit stared at me viciously, gritting his teeth. If I get out, I will definitely kill you. In front of the hat. Uncles, you still dare to threaten me? Simply lawless. Captain Lee, you guys have to interrogate him thoroughly later. He completely disrespects you. Lee Jinbin waved his hand again, telling his team to hurry up and escort the man into the car. Then he looked at me. Looks like we have to ask you to come with us again. Don't worry. This time, I guarantee you'll get some tea. Once we finish your statement, I'll have someone send you back. Arriving at the station, Lee Jinbin had someone send the bandit to the interrogation room, and then he went in to conduct the interrogation. My statement was taken very quickly. It was mainly just asking about the course of events. When Xiao Xiaofeng heard that I had pinched the bandit's funny bone, he almost couldn't hold back his laughter. Not bad. I couldn't tell you had both bravery and brains. All right, I'll send you back in a bit. Thinking that I wasn't a suspect this time, I grew bolder and asked a couple more questions. What crime did this bandit commit? He probably won't be able to get out anytime soon, right? I'm really afraid he'll take revenge. Don't worry, he won't be getting out. Xiao Xiao said, patting my shoulder. This guy killed someone 2 days ago, and it was a scientific researcher. He'll definitely get a heavy sentence. Let's go. I'll take you back. I shivered. Good Lord. He was actually a murderer. Just as the two of us reached the lobby entrance, a police officer ran up hurriedly and stopped us. We can't untie the rope. We need you to help. I waved my hand dismissively. Hey, if you can't untie it, just cut it. I don't want that rope anymore. We couldn't cut it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come looking for you specifically. Captain Lee and the others are waiting to interrogate him. But the rope just won't come undone. He just casually tied a dead knot. Hearing this, my heart skipped a beat. Oh no. In the interrogation room, Lee Jinbin was angrily wrestling with the rope. Seeing me follow the young officer in, he snapped in annoyance. How afraid were you that this guy would run away using this kind of steel wire rope? Hurry up and get it off him. I smiled awkwardly and hurried forward. In 2 or 3 swift movements, I untied the rope that had baffled everyone. Sorry about that, Captain Lee. This is my self-created knot. It's very hard for ordinary people to untie. All right. All right. Hurry up and go back. Stop messing around with those gadgets of yours if you have nothing better to do. I nodded repeatedly. After returning home, I crashed and slept until 2 p.m. the next day. I opened my phone and found that the video of yesterday's torrential pure blossom needle had already reached 1.5 million views. I was happily scrolling through my phone. So, this is what it feels like to go viral. Truly not bad. But suddenly, I remembered something and muttered to myself, what did I use yesterday? It was the super strong tough rope. The best choice for tying people up, pulling cargo, or hanging oneself. Hearing this, I silently pinched my philtrum. This is exactly why I don't like using this system. It always feels a bit inappropriate. I shook my head and bought another rope from the system. Observing it carefully, I discovered that the material and weaving technique of this rope were very special. Previously, just to pull some cargo, I casually bought a bunch from the store, and after using them once, they just gathered dust by the door. I didn't expect that yesterday. They couldn't even cut it with a knife. It seems like it's a good item. I'll have to study it properly when I have free time tonight. Afterward, I set up my phone and prepared to stream. I couldn't let such good traffic go to waste. Sure enough, as soon as I went online, the number of viewers had doubled compared to yesterday. Yo, the Tang Sect Master is here. Streamer, what handicraft are you planning to make today? Do you need me to dial 110 for you in advance? Looking at the Netsons teasing, I touched my nose and said, brothers, the things I crafted the past 2 days were too dangerous. The hat Uncle Les told me to take it easy. We are law-abiding good citizens. I definitely wouldn't dare mess around anymore. Hearing this, the people in the live stream laughed. What are you afraid of, streamer? Be bold and go for it. I heard everyone inside is super talented, perfect for you to take on a master and learn some new skills. Since the streamer can't do martial arts anymore, let's do something cultural. Singing, dancing, calligraphy, painting. Just do whatever you're good at. Yeah. Let's see some drawing. Usually, people good at handicrafts have pretty good drawing skills, too. What kind of garbage is this? The strongest handicraft blogger. What the hell can he do? If you have the guts, try handcrafting some money. Just as everyone was joking around, a sudden, disharmonious comment popped up on the screen. Who is this guy upstairs? Isn't he just looking for trouble? The Netsons guessed, right? This person was indeed here to cause trouble. His name was Sun. How are you? His family had some money, making him a second-generation rich kid. He idled about all day and loved acting as an online judge. Feeling that besides himself, everyone else was a piece of trash. Especially seeing the slogan "Can craft anything" hanging in my stream, Sun. How you became even more energized. Speak up. Didn't you claim you could craft anything? What's wrong? You can't do it now. I looked at the chat and smiled. All right. How can a man say he can't? But what if I do manage to craft it? If you can craft it, I'll tip you 2 spaceships. But if you can't, you have to tear down your sign and publicly admit your skills are trash. I'll take this job. In the live stream, seeing me provoked, the crowd sighed in exasperation. This streamer is really foolish. I've seen this Sun how you in several streamers' chats. This guy is the ultimate contrarian troll. Why are you competing with him? This brother is done for. I'm slipping away. I ignored the crowd's grievances, found some paint and drawing materials from a corner, pulled out a 100 yuan bill from my pocket, and began sketching using it as a reference from the size to the color and then to the texture. When necessary, I even used a magnifying glass to assist. Watching the gradually clear outlines under my pen, the Netsons began to exclaim, "Holy bean, bro, are you for real? This is really handcrafting money. Good lord, I'm completely looking forward to this now." Unhurried, I carved out the details and slowly applied the colors. Soon, a banknote that looked completely identical to the RB appeared before everyone's eyes. I thought about it, then took out paper and pen again to start drawing anew. The Netsons were a bit confused. Why is this bro starting over? Is he drawing the back? But the front is already good enough. This bro is too rigorous. However, as the crowd kept watching, they realized something was wrong. It's actually USD. Looking at the shocked exclamation marks in the chat, I stopped and helplessly explained, "Bros, it's not that I don't want to draw RB. I'm afraid that if I draw it completely, I'll be invited by the hat uncles to drink tea at the station again. Then I'd really be screwed." Saying that, I continued my handcrafting work from color mixing to textures to the anti-counterfeit details. I originally wanted to stop there, but thinking about how Sunhao was an ultimate troll to make sure he couldn't pick any faults, I also applied some optically variable ink. Finally, I even added the portrait anti-counterfeit watermark. Did this bro just use color ranging ink? Drawing it this accurately, does he have a death wish? Exactly. I feel like this streamer isn't simple. He definitely has some hidden identity. I have a bad feeling about this. The chat was constantly refreshing, but I was immersed in my creation and had no time to pay attention. After more than 2 full hours, a lifelike USD note was finally completed. The live stream was filled with screens of awesome and 666. Holy crap, this banknote is drawn so well it can pass for the real thing. Bro, why don't you explore a side hustle? I feel like there's a lot of potential in this. Wait, where is Sunhao? Come out and take your beating. Seeing the growing uproar in the live stream, Sunhao couldn't pretend to be deaf and dumb any longer. But if he was to admit defeat so easily, how could he still be a troll? He pondered for a moment and sent another message. I meant money that can pass through a super money detector. Like this, I could just find a random art student to draw it. Okay, truly the king of trolls. He can even argue against this. I'm genuinely impressed. To be honest, I kind of want Brother Yi to go try it. Not to argue, but purely because Brother Yi drew it too well. You guys just love watching the world burn. If it passes, Brother Yi will be going to jail. But I also want to see Brother Yi try it. Looking at the crowd chiming in one after another in the chat, I was also somewhat tempted. Alright. As a streamer who spoils his fans, I must satisfy your requests. Let's go. I'll take you to the supermarket. Holding the drawn USD, I went to the supermarket at the village entrance. I just didn't know if Auntie Lou's money detector could scan USD. When I arrived, Auntie Lou was catching up on a drama on her computer. Seeing me holding my phone, she smiled. Sui, doing your live stream thing again. Auntie Lou, can your money detector scan USD? Let me borrow it for a second. USD? Sure. I bought this money detector on Pinduoduo. They said it can scan currencies from several countries. That's great. I pointed the camera at the machine. Brothers, I'm about to start. I then placed the USD in my hand into the slot. In the live stream, everyone was waiting for the machine to sound an alarm. But instead they saw the paper bill slide right through with a swish. The money detector didn't jam at all, nor did it emit any alarm sounds. For a moment, not only was everyone in the live stream dumbfounded, but I was also dumbfounded. Holy crap! What's going on? I picked up the USD and ran it through several more times. Every time it passed smoothly with a swish. Seeing me run it through so many times, Auntie Lou was a bit confused. Sway, is there a problem with this money? Why are you scanning it so many times? Refusing to believe in evil, I scanned it one last time. Still, absolutely no problem. Auntie Lou, are you sure this money detector works? Hey, you brat. This money detector of mine is a name brand. I've only used it for a few months. It can't possibly be broken. Hearing this, I looked like I wanted to cry without tears. I'm done for, Auntie Lou. That bill passed through the detector. You kid always acting so weird. If it couldn't pass, then it would be fake. What are you trying to use? Fake money to trick people. In the live stream, the crowd of netizens was completely convinced. If this drawing of a USD note hadn't been on camera the whole time, I would have suspected the streamer secretly swapped it for a real bill. You're done for, streamer. You've gotten into big trouble. I was also panicking a bit. Just as I was wondering how to explain it, the live stream instantly went black. I was forced offline and the stream was terminated. What's wrong, Sueya? Auntie Lou, I'm done for. I drew that money earlier. Wow, I didn't realize you had this kind of talent. Our Sway is really promising. You'll definitely become a great painter in the future. Auntie Lou's eyes were filled with the admiration of watching someone succeed. I let out a soft sigh and walked out of the supermarket. As soon as I stepped out of the store, I saw Xiao Xiaofang marching towards me menacingly. Can't you just stay quiet? You're getting into different kinds of trouble every single day. Let's go then. Can I still go home this time? I can't say for sure about that. Inside the familiar interrogation room, Lion Bin looked serious. You're really something, kid. You've really grown your skills. Illegally manufacturing firearms wasn't enough. Now you've started counterfeiting currency. Are you not going to give up until you taste the prison food? Captain Lee, that's not true at all. I really just drew a picture. I just grabbed random paper. Who could have thought it would actually pass the machine? You still think you're in the right? Look at what you've done. Streaming for 3 days. You've been here 3 times. No, I think you shouldn't go back today. Otherwise, you'll be right back here tomorrow. It'll save us the trouble. I suddenly thought of something and said, Captain Lee, could it be that money detector was broken? As soon as I spoke, Li Jimin replied, we already tested it with other machines. It's not the machine's problem at all. Hearing this, I hung my head in dismay. How could a drawing pass the test? Could it be that the anti-counterfeit technology of the US currency isn't very good? Lai Jianbin was almost laughing out of anger. Finally, he helplessly pulled out a document. All right, fill out all this information. Register at the administrative desk. After this, we won't care what you do. I nodded like a pounding garlic pestle and hurriedly agreed, cooperating fully to fill out the paperwork. After all the procedures were completed, Lai Jianbin put away the documents and waved his hand. Leave the drawing. The person can go. I sighed silently. I couldn't even keep any of my works from the past 3 days. In the office, Li Jianben held the USD and smiled. As long as this kid doesn't go astray, he will definitely achieve great things in the future. Absolutely. I've never seen anyone who could draw money. And the key is that it actually passed the machine. Captain, how should we handle this money? Lu Jianben placed the USD on the desk. I've already reported it to the bureau. I'll take it over in a bit. While they were talking, an officer suddenly ran in and said, Captain Lee, the people from the Research Institute have arrived. Hearing this, Lai Jianbin stood up immediately, took a file out from the cabinet behind him, and stroked towards the reception room. He saw a middle-aged man sitting there. Seeing Lai Jianbin arrive, he stood up and said, Captain Lee, right? I am Xin Jingyan from the Research Institute. I came to check on that case and also to take back the remains of my late colleague. According to our current investigation, this person received a sum of money from someone else to target your researcher. The person who transferred the money is domestic, but this person has a superior and is very cautious. According to our speculation, it should be a foreign force. These people actually dare to hurt people in our Longo and even use Longo people to do it. There are always people willing to sell out their country for glory. We will catch every single one we see. Sorry to trouble you this time. As they spoke, they prepared to walk out. At this moment, Shin Jingan suddenly saw a rope lying under the promotional rack nearby. Subconsciously, he squatted down and picked it up. Recently, the institute had been researching the arresting gear, making him want to closely examine any rope he saw. This look was no small matter. He really saw something different. The weaving texture of this rope was very unique. At least it was different from anything he had seen before. So he turned to Lai Jianbin. Captain Lee, where was this rope bought from? This was used to tie up the criminal. He then briefly recounted the events of yesterday. Hearing this, Shen Qingyan was somewhat surprised. So you're saying that young man caught the criminal? Lai Jianbin nodded, and following the topic, he told Shin Jingyan the story of my 3 visits to the station. Then he said with deep worry, that kid Swayer is talented, but I'm really afraid that other young people will copy his examples. That would be troublesome. Just relax. People like that are talents. Even if others wanted to copy him, they would need to have the skills first. I'll take this rope back to examine. If he comes looking for you, have him contact me directly. On the other side, after returning home, I checked the time. It was too late to stream. So I just went straight to the workshop and began studying the rope I bought from the system. But even with the basic principles provided by the system, trying to replicate it myself wasn't as simple as I thought. I have a bad habit. Whenever I encounter a difficult problem, I invest myself entirely. Either I succeed or I completely destroy myself trying. Otherwise, it's very hard for me to stop. For the next period of time, I worked on the rope, almost forgetting to eat and sleep. Finally, after more than a dozen formula adjustments, I solved the most difficult material part. Then, I proceeded with twisting, weaving, coating, and several other complex steps. Finally, looking at the rope in my hand, which was identical to the one redeemed from the system, I felt every pore in my body open up in comfort. I yawned and collapsed onto the sofa, sleeping soundly through the day and night. After waking up, I opened my phone for the first time in a while and logged into my account. Looking at my private messages, I was completely dumbfounded. They were all telling me to take care of myself inside. Some even shared a headline with me. The strongest handicraft blogger successfully handcrafts USD on stream, gladly receives silver bracelets. I shook my head helplessly and started a live stream. The viewer count soared rapidly. Holy crap, streamer, you got out so quickly. I thought you'd be squatting inside for at least 3 to 5 years. Brother Yi, tell us the truth. What did you do before this? Streamer, I'm currently in the US. How about you draw some USD and mail it to me? Let's go into business together. I looked at the chat with a smile. Let me explain to you bros first. I didn't go in. I just registered a record with the uncles. I was busy making some new things these past few days. So, I didn't have time to stream. Also, I am an upright person. I don't do illegal things. Just as everyone was chatting enthusiastically, a rocket suddenly shot up on the screen. My eyes lit up. Thank you, boss. If you have any orders, just say the word. As long as this little brother can do it, I absolutely won't decline. Streamer, I'm a drone enthusiast. Can you handcraft a drone? As long as it works, I'll send you another rocket. Seeing this, my eyes lit up even more. This isn't just a boss. This is the god of wealth. God of wealth. I mean, boss, what are your requirements? I saw the Netsons call you the handcrafting king. You decide how to make it. As long as you make something that can fly, I'll accept it. All right. All right. All right. All right. Assured, boss. I actually researched drones before. I'll craft you a small, exquisite one that's easy to carry and operate. Saying that, I put down my phone and rushed to the workshop. I pulled open the blueprint drawer and dug out a blueprint for a bionic drone. This thing was a newbie gift pack attached to the system when I first bound to it. To put it plainly, it was a bird-like flying machine. At the time, I thought it was boring, so I made an infrared module, thinking of adding some functions to the drone. But later, I got busy with other things. The infrared module was finished, but I never got around to handcrafting the bionic drone. Today was the perfect time to try it. Excitedly, I took the blueprint and dusted it off. I held the blueprint up to the camera and said, "Brothers, today we're going to handcraft a bionic drone. This drone's exterior looks like a bird, but it has all the essential functions of a drone inside. And to prevent it from being boring, I upgraded it a bit. I added reconnaissance, strike, and stealth features. The body size is about 20 centimeters, looking like a woodpecker. This type of bird is relatively common, providing better concealment. Plus, it's absolutely silent. Very nice." In the live stream, everyone saw the blueprint I displayed and started laughing and typing. Streamer, you're not bragging, are you? Are you sure you're talking about a drone? Also, this drawing of yours doesn't show any skill at all. The rocket boss, looking at the blueprint in my hand, also couldn't help but frown slightly. The drawing was indeed a bit sloppy. The outside looked right, but the internal structure and such were completely missing. Based on his years of experience playing with drones, he could almost conclude that this streamer was just creating a gimmick for stream effects. After all, if he was really that awesome, he wouldn't be a streamer. He would go straight to the research institute to serve the country. So, he thought about it and sent a message. It's fine, streamer. As long as you make a drone that can fly, I'll accept it. I read the chat and smiled back. Don't worry, boss. Since I took your money, I absolutely won't disappoint you. With that, I brought out my miniature machine tool and officially started work. Soon, the body parts were prepared. Then, I assembled 2 linkage mechanisms at the wings to allow the drone to simulate a bird's flight dynamics. I installed the motor and flight controller for debugging. The crowd in the livestream looked at the half-finished product in my hands, which actually started flying during the debugging process, and they were all dumbfounded. Wait, streamer, you actually know how to do this? I smiled and dismantled the security camera from my house, saying, because this is a spontaneous build, and I want everyone to see the finished product today. I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul for some of the parts. This HD camera from my house was also handcrafted by me before. I guarantee it's better than what's on the market. Naturally, no one in the live stream objected. After all, if I were to handcraft a camera live on stream, how long would this broadcast take? Meanwhile, inside the research institute, after Shenzhengen brought that rope back, he originally intended to just do some basic tests. He didn't expect that this inconspicuous rope's data, whether in toughness or tensile strength, would be so astounding. A group of researchers said with slight excitement, "Deputy Director, where did this rope come from? These values are much better than the data from our previous tests. I went to Captain Lee's place a few days ago and saw this rope. They said a young man named Swayer brought it. I thought it just had a special weaving method. I didn't expect the data to be so good. Hurry up and keep testing. Let's see what its limit is." The crowd nodded heavily and continued the testing. It wasn't until the tensile strength was pushed up to 8 times its value that the rope gradually began to show signs of breaking. Everyone present was overwhelmingly excited. Some even shed tears of joy. There's hope for the arresting gear. Yes, the overall data of this rope is very close to the arresting gear data we need. If it's made thicker, it will definitely be perfect. Lately, a gloom had hung over the entire research institute. Ever since the aircraft carrier was built, the arresting gear had become their biggest problem. The US held a technological blockade, and after attempting for a long time, they hadn't found the key. Originally, the researcher in charge of this technology had just made a breakthrough, but before he could finalize it, he was murdered. The whole institute was holding their breath in frustration. After the excitement, everyone looked at Shin Jingyan. "Director, can you ask Captain Lee if he has that Sui contact information? Ask him where he bought it." Shin Jing nodded, just about to call Lai Jianbin. But the moment he took out his phone, he suddenly remembered something. He downloaded a live streaming app instead, entered the words, "Sui." And sure enough, he found him, and he was currently streaming. At this time in the live stream, my drone was almost finished. For aesthetic purposes, I specifically ran next door to my neighbor's chicken coop, borrowed some feathers from a hen, stuck them onto the body, and dyed them green. "Brothers, I can't get any synthetic feathers right now, so we'll just make do with chicken feathers for now." In the stream, the viewers frowned. "Streamer, if I squint, this bionic drone of yours kind of looks the part, but looking closely, it's a real eyesore." "Yeah. Is this appearance meant to laugh the enemy to death? You, the handcrafting king, sticking these chicken feathers. What the hell are you doing?" Reading the teasing comments in the chat, I laughed dismissively. "Brothers, don't rush. I'm just pressed for time. Alright, let's fly it around first." Saying that, I picked up the remote controller and started operating the drone in the live stream. Actually, this drone can have many more functions added. If we loaded some micro-explosives inside in future wars, we could fly it right into the enemy's camp. That would be quite a spectacular sight. The Netsons laughed upon hearing this. Brother Ye is really tired of living comfortably outside. He wants to go back in again. But did you guys notice? This drone really is exactly as the streamer said. It has almost no sound. Yeah. I didn't hear anything either. Could it be that everything Brother Yi said before was true? Impossible. Maybe it's just far away. Seeing that someone in the chat had noticed this point, I smiled proudly. Everyone, don't doubt me. Everything I said is true. This drone is indeed silent. And I also added a bird simulator inside. It can mimic bird movements and habits. As I spoke, I operated the drone. Although the turning of the bird's head made a little noise, it was enough to shock the veterans in the live stream. Subsequently, I demonstrated the infrared camera mode to the lens. Then the style took a sharp turn. Oh, by the way, this steel woodpecker green also has an independent power supply mode. It can rapidly capture solar and wind energy. You don't have to worry about battery life. Saying that, I sighed with regret. As for some mechanical movements, due to limited time, I could only take it this far. If I had another month, I could optimize it to be much smoother. The audience in the chat was completely numb. They faintly felt like they were witnessing something incredible. The rocket boss directly fired off 10 consecutive rockets. He believed that once he got his hands on this drone, it would definitely cause a storm in the drone community. Shin Jingyan, who was watching the stream at the institute, was also completely stunned. Silent flight, ecological simulation, infinite battery life. Any of these pulled out separately would be a massive achievement. Yet, they were so casually applied to a small drone by a young man. Shenzhen's heartbeat couldn't help but accelerate. Originally, he thought of just sending a message to ask about the origin of the rope. But now, it seemed there was already a result. He had to go meet this person himself. At this time, my live stream also came to an end. After bringing the drone back, I smoothly ended the broadcast. This was the only smooth stream I had since I started streaming. I happily edited the video of today's stream and posted it. Just as I was about to put down my phone, I saw a recommendation pop up at the top. I opened it and was instantly dumbfounded. My video had actually been reposted abroad by netizens and it had blown up. But looking at the comments, I suddenly laughed in anger. A large number of Americans were actually saying I was promoting violence and demanding I get out of the US. I'm not even in the US. How am I supposed to get out? I shook my head, directly exited the app, tossed my phone aside, and planned to go out for a walk. But as soon as I stepped out, I found that the village road outside had turned into a snack street. There were over a dozen stalls set up. It scared me so much I pulled 1 foot back inside. Wait, this is the f***ing suburbs. When did a snack street pop up? Could it be that the historical ruins near our village became popular? But that shouldn't be. The government had been promoting those ruins for years without a single splash. I shook my head and didn't think too much about it. Anyway, not having to order takeout in the future was pretty cool. I excitedly rushed to the snack street. Boss, give me a Jan Bingo. I want 2 eggs, sausage, tenderloin, and a pack of spicy strips. The boss nodded repeatedly and began to act. But not only was this creep made poorly and sloppily, the boss also kept glancing at me, making me feel baffled. Suddenly, I realized this person looked a bit familiar. Boss, have I seen you before? No. I have a generic face. Maybe someone around you looks like me, so you feel I look familiar. I didn't dwell on it. Holding my messy creep, I ate as I walked home. Seeing me leave, the creep boss breathed a sigh of relief. He was an intern officer who had just joined the police station. A few days ago, their captain, Lee Janbin, formulated a plan. He had them set up stalls in the suburbs to keep an eye on this kid. If there were any suspicious persons or signs of trouble, they were to report to their superiors. If they performed well, they could become regular officers. He wasn't the only one here this time. Even the cleaning lady and the security guard from the station, as well as the intern officers from the neighboring station, were all transferred here to act as snack stall owners. You could say the entire force was mobilized. Meanwhile, on a certain battlefield in the Middle East, Commander, now is not the time to complain. We need to find a way to solve our weapons problem quickly. Otherwise, we will be forced to surrender. Commander Hassan was fuming. Just then, a young team member ran in hurriedly. Commander, I found a way to solve the weapons problem. Hearing this, both Commander Hassan and Lieutenant Kareem's eyes lit up. They asked excitedly, what way? The young member handed the phone to them, clicking on a video. This Longo man is teaching us how to make weapons. The production method is very simple, and we can produce them ourselves. The process is very detailed, and the steps are simple. We just need to change the materials, swap in real ammo, and we can use it on the battlefield. Paper to steel, glue to welding. It's very easy. Who would have thought this group's execution speed was so impressive? In less than 2 days, they managed to produce dozens of simplified Gatling guns, which were much more effective than their homemade rudimentary guns. I was completely unaware that because of my few videos, the situation in the Middle East was quietly undergoing a change. I was busy researching new things from the system. Through streaming these past few days, my handcrafting ability had leveled up again, and I unlocked more and more new items. However, they were all just technical blueprints. As long as I successfully crafted the finished product from the blueprint and continuously improved my handcrafting level, the system's technological rewards would become richer, and it would randomly drop big prizes. Like the super strong tough rope from before, I looked around and locked my eyes on a big guy, a tank. To be honest, I had always been crafting small gadgets. Now that I unlocked such a massive thing, it made my heart itch. I stayed up all night preparing materials, getting ready to give the brothers a huge surprise tomorrow. The next day, I started my stream as usual. Before I could even speak, the netizens in the chat started making wishes. Brother Yi, can you craft a 9-dragon coffin? I'll tip you 5 spaceships. Brother Yi, make me a beast head. I'll tip you a stop fighting. I want a robot. The live stream was noisy and the comments were flying by. I raised my hand and pressed it down in a calming gesture. Brothers, today we aren't doing those small gadgets. I'm going to craft a big guy for you all. What do you guys think about a tank? The live stream went silent for a moment. The next second, the screen was flooded with national essence. After half a beat, everyone finally calmed down. Wow. Do you know what you were saying? I admit you're a bit awesome, but you shouldn't brag like this. That's a tank. Streamer, can you really build a tank? Even if you dare to build it, I wouldn't dare to believe it. Seeing this, I hurriedly corrected them. Everyone, don't get sidetracked. This is a handicraft, an artwork. It's not the same as traditionally building a tank. We can't cause trouble for the hat, uncles. I already prepared the materials yesterday. Let's start right now. With that, I rolled up my sleeves and was just about to get to work when I heard someone knocking on my front gate. Hearing this sound, I had a bit of PTSD. But looking at the time, even if they were coming to my door, they shouldn't be this fast. Thinking this, I jogged over and opened the door. Standing outside was a big brother in a military uniform. The viewers in the chat instantly got excited. Both the military and police are here. Streamer, looks like you're going in again. That's a tank. Streamer, can you really build a tank? Even if you dare to build it, I wouldn't dare to believe it. You guys are too vicious. I bet the streamer is currently recalling all the bad things he's ever done in his life. Indeed, as the netizens thought, my life flashed before my eyes twice, but I couldn't find any crime I committed that was worth having two major factions join forces to come for me. I swallowed hard and asked cautiously. Who are you looking for? Seeing this, Shenzhen hurriedly spoke up. Comrade Sui, you don't need to be nervous. I am the deputy director of the Longo Research Institute, Shenqing Yan. This is Comrade Lu Jiang, who escorted me here. Could we go inside to talk? I quickly agreed and welcomed all three of them inside. Are you looking for me? Shenqing Yan stood in the courtyard, looked around, saw my streaming phone, and asked, is it convenient for you to turn off your live stream now? I nodded repeatedly, walked up to the phone, and looking at the howling comments in the chat, I didn't even have time to explain before directly shutting off the stream. Seeing this, Xin Jingyan took the rope out of his briefcase. I made a special trip today for this rope. If my guess is correct, this rope was also handcrafted by you, right? I hesitated for a moment and nodded. Xinjian breathed a sigh of relief and smiled. It's like this. Can you make this rope thicker? Hearing this, I also let out a long sigh of relief. It's just for this. You should have said so earlier. You scared the life out of me. Seeing my reaction, Xinjian looked delighted and explained the use of the rope to me. I was dumbfounded listening to it. Aircraft carrier arresting gear. Uncle, you're not joking, are you? Before Shenqing could answer, Lai Jianben interjected. You brat? What nonsense are you talking about? Do you think Deputy Director Shin came all this way just to joke with you? Xinjian nodded excitedly. He hadn't expected it to go so smoothly and immediately made a promise. Good, good, good. If the rope meets the standard, the bonuses and honors will definitely not be lacking. I waved my hand dismissively. These are trivial matters. It's just making a rope. Subsequently, I led Xinjian and the others into the workshop, pulled out the winding machine, and prepared to weave. Xin Jingyan hesitated for a moment and asked softly, Little comrade, can I record a video? Of course. It's just weaving a rope. It's not some secret. Besides, although the weaving technique for this rope is special, it's not difficult. The material, on the other hand, truly made me numb. It took me almost a week to figure it out. I kept my hands busy while complaining with my mouth, not feeling anything was wrong at all, completely unaware that the gaze Shen Zhenyan directed at me was gradually becoming fervent. The weaving process, in my eyes, wasn't considered hard. It was just because Shen Zhenyan requested it to be thicker, so weaving it was a bit slower. Before long, a 50 centimeters rope was fully woven. Xinjian held the rope excitedly. Little comrade, thank you for your hard work. I will take this rope back for testing first. Once the data comes out, I'll notify you. You've been a huge help to us this time. Small matter. If there's anything you need help with in the future, just ask. Xinjian carefully put away the rope. Then he changed the subject. Yesterday, I watched your live stream where you made a drone. I wonder if you could let me take a look at it. Confused, I took the drone, which I was preparing to pack and ship away out of the delivery box. I didn't know what was so interesting about this ugly L-looking drone. Xin Jingyan held the drone and examined it from all angles. Even Lu Jiang, who hadn't spoken, leaned in to look. After a long while, Xingyan asked, can all those functions you mentioned yesterday be realized? Of course. but I touched my nose awkwardly. It's just that my level isn't high enough yet, and there are some more powerful functions that I can't realize right now. I originally wanted to craft a perception module, which would enable automatic evasion, route planning, and target identification capabilities. If I added a micro-attack module, it would be even more perfect. Saying this, I shook my head in regret. It was a pity. Xin Jingyan and Lu Jiang standing to the side were already dumbfounded. The way Lu Jiang looked at me kept changing. We must find a way to get a talent like this into the military. Xingyan stared passionately at the drone. Although the exterior of this drone looks rough, the internal operating modules, the infrared module, and the working principles of the infinite battery life are all treasures. If this bionic drone is deployed on the battlefield, it would definitely be an existence that alters the landscape of warfare. Hearing this, my heart skipped a beat. Deployed on the battlefield? The subtext meant this thing had to be handed over again. Thinking of this, I hurriedly said, "Leader, this item was custom ordered by my top donator. You can't take it away. Its value goes way beyond those rocket gifts." I thought about it and waved my hand. "No, I've already promised this thing to someone else. If you are interested, I'll give you the blueprints and you can make one yourselves." Saying that, I turned back into the room, pulled out a stack of detailed engineering blueprints from a drawer. Inside were many designs I wanted to make, but didn't have the capability to succeed at yet. Xinjian took the blueprints and opened them. Seeing the complex mechanical drawings on them, his breathing couldn't help but quicken. The final version of the drone had no propellers, only bionic wings and fins. Compared to this blueprint, the previous drone was simply child's play. He looked up and spoke with a trembling voice. "You designed these blueprints. I guess you could say that these blueprints are considered an upgraded and enhanced version. However, my conditions are a bit poor right now, and many materials are controlled, so I can't buy them. You guys have abundant materials over there. Building it should be very fast. Comrade Swayer, these blueprints are extremely important. On behalf of the Research Institute and the military, I express our sincere gratitude to you. Rest assured, we won't take this for nothing. Every penny you deserve will be given to you." This sudden tribute left me somewhat overwhelmed by the unexpected favor. "It's fine. Just make it and let me see it when it's done." Shenzhen didn't dwell on this matter any further. Saying more now would just be empty promises. Once the item was built, the higher-ups wouldn't mistreat such a talent. He packed the documents into his bag. "I will go back and run tests right now. When the data is out, I'll be the first to notify you." Saying that, he hurried into the military jeep at the gate and left, rushing back to do the tests. In the car, Xin Jingyan rubbed the blueprints, his expression stern. "Lu Jiang, once you get back, immediately arrange for people to secretly protect Suya's safety. I will go report to my superiors right